everyone, it's time for another Yoga for Scoliosis practice video. My name is Christine Jareggi-Berry. I'm a yoga teacher specializing in yoga for scoliosis. If you want to join us on the Facebook group for more inspiration and support, then feel free to do that. I will leave the comment underneath the video. So let's get started. Today we're going to work on some rotation, derotation of the spine. We're going to be working on lengthening of the spine, and we're going to be doing a little balance as well. So maybe a little bit more challenging practice if you've been following my other videos. So just hoping that you'll find something that really suits you. As you know, scoliosis is so individual and everyone has slightly different curves. Now, my instructions will mainly be for a left lumbar, right thoracic curve, just because that seems to be the main curve for most people. Obviously, if you have a reversed pattern or a C-shaped curve, you can always adjust it accordingly. It's relatively straightforward once you know what you're dealing with, which is obviously the first thing to find out. So if you haven't found out, see if you can get an X-ray and really get familiar with your curve. Good, so let's just start with a little bit of derotation of the spine. So have your feet about hip distance apart, little bend in the knees, and we're just going to swing the arms from side to side. So not really a controlled movement, just let the arms kind of dangle. Oops, I was hitting the wall. I'm going to step a little bit further forward. Make sure you're not hitting anything like me. So it's more for, it's a playful movement, free movement, and the more you kind of get into it, you will notice what's happening in the spine. So it brings in this lovely rotation into the spine. And if it's uncomfortable for you, if rotation doesn't feel good for you, then keep it very soft. Otherwise, if you quite enjoy those movements like I do, then just swing the arms around a little bit more. Keep the knees bent, little softness in the knees. And then you can bring in the head as well. So looking over the shoulder, just creating a little bit of energy in the body, energy along the spine. Good. Let the movement become a little bit softer now until you come back to center. Good. So from there, we're going to just check your feet. So make sure that they're even, that not one foot is turned out, the other foot is turned in. Pressing into the feet, and then close your eyes for a few moments. Notice the weight into both feet. Do you have more weight in one foot than the other? And if you're not quite sure, then shift the weight from side to side until you find that complete center. Pressing all 10 toes into the ground, lifting through the arches of the feet, the inner arches of the feet. That starts to activate the legs, so move the energy is traveling up through the legs, lengthening up through the crown of the head. And then slowly open the eyes. So this is called Tadasana, mountain pose. Very beneficial pose for scoliosis. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come into a balance, and it's called tree pose. Now, if you've never done this before, you might want to have a chair close by in case you want to use it. Otherwise, just start to shift your weight over towards the left foot. So we're grounding down through that left foot. Imagine as if you're growing your roots down into the ground. And we're lifting up through the whole of the left side of the body until that right foot just floats off the ground. And you can just test your balance here. What is it like just standing on one leg? So there might be a little bit of wobbling. That's good. That's toning the foot. And then choose your position for tree pose. You can either bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the ankle, below the knee, or above the knee, depending on your flexibility. Bring the hands together at the center of the chest. Keep lifting up through the crown of the head. Really important to keep working on your balance. Especially with scoliosis, we feel so uneven and out of balance most of the time. These poses are really good, really strengthening for the core as well. And then slowly release. Just releasing the legs for a moment. Come back to Tadasana, come back to mountain pose. And then starting to shift your weight over to the other side, to the right foot now. Pressing down through the right foot, lifting up through the whole of the right side of the body. And then let the left foot just float off the ground. Just kind of test your balance a little bit, see what it feels like on this side. And then again, choose the position for the foot, preferably the same as you did on the first side. Remember, we want to balance the body out. And then just notice if there's a difference to this side. If there's a difference this side than the other. Is it harder? Is it unstable? Just notice these things. Good. Keep breathing. Finding a point of focus. And then slowly release. And just walking out the feet. Good. So the next couple of poses that we're going to do with the chair. Let's just talk about the curves again. So as I said, my instructions will be mainly for left lumbar, right thoracic curve. And this is my curve. And if you look closely on my waist, you'll be able to see a difference from the left side and the right side. So my right side has a little bit of a dip. The left side seems longer. So what I'm actually trying to do is that I'm trying to lengthen out my right side in most of the poses, and the same for the thoracic curve. Now my thoracic curve is not very strong, it's relatively mild, but it goes towards the right, so I need more space on the left side. So these are the sides that I'm trying to lengthen. Obviously, if you have a C curve, then it's a little bit easier because you just have one side to deal with. So just kind of check which side needs a little bit more lengthening. And then when you're ready, we're going to come towards the chair. Good. So to begin with, we're going to turn the chair around. So we'll have, and I just have a normal dining room chair. So have the higher side towards you. We're just going to bring the fingertips just onto the higher, what's it called? The back of the seat. And then we're slowly going to walk the feet back until we find lots and lots of length in the spine. And I can obviously see myself here in the camera, which is quite useful. So you might want to have a mirror when you're practicing this. So I still want to keep my shoulders broad. So I don't want to hunch my shoulders up towards the ears, but just keeping them quite wide. Keep the arms soft. It's about lengthening the tailbone backwards. So you can do this very slowly. And then if you feel that maybe your feet are a little bit too close, you just walk a little bit further back. So we're extending the spine as long as possible. So remember, for left lumbar curve, I want to lengthen the right side of my lumbar spine. So I'm sending the right hip slightly back. Now for the thoracic curve, what I want to do is lengthen the left side of the thoracic spine, of the upper back. So what I'm doing is I'm turning the chair slightly towards the right. So I keep lengthening the left side of the spine a little bit more, just for a few breaths. And this feels really, really nice. And you're going to feel a couple of inches taller after this practice. Keep breathing. So we're breathing in and out through the nose in yoga, allowing the muscles to adjust. Good. Obviously, if you practice on your own, stay here for as long as it feels good. Otherwise, we're slowly going to come out now. And then turn the chair around. So we've got the seat towards us now. And I'm going to start with the left foot forward and the right foot back. So I have the toes directly underneath the edge of the chair. Bring the fingertips down onto the chair. Now this side is quite good. We're going to lengthen the spine forwards, because if I have my right foot back, I'm already naturally lengthening the right side of my waist here. So lengthening through the spine, imagine the crown of the head moving forwards and the tail moving back. And then I'm going to bring my left hand into the center of the chair, the right hand onto my waist, and slowly start to rotate yourself towards the right. And you might not be able to go very far, and that's okay. So just listen to your body, see what's possible today. And if the shoulder is facing up towards the ceiling, then you can just kind of unfold the arm and reach up towards the ceiling. Good. So don't lift the arm. If your shoulder would be around here, if you're lifting the arm, you would overstretch your shoulder and you would hurt your shoulder. So work on the rotation first, and then if it feels right, you're lifting the arm up to get a little bit of an extra lift here. Slowly bring the arm back down. We're not going to stay too long. Coming back to center. Again, lengthening through the spine. Crown of the head moving away from the tailbone. And then slightly bend your knees with a long spine, slowly bringing yourself up. And swap sides. Right foot forward, left foot back. Good. So for this side, because of the left lumbar curve, this is a little bit tricky because I need to really send my right hips back a little bit more for this side. Bring the hands forward. And you might feel that this side is actually a little bit trickier. Extending the tailbone away from the crown of the head. Finding that lovely length in the spine. Now, if the chair is too low for you, then obviously you can always use the back of the chair. So kind of being up a little bit higher. I would turn the chair around in that case. It's not about kind of getting as low down as possible. It's really about lengthening the spine as much as possible. And then bring the right hand into the center of the chair. Bring the left hand onto the waist, and then we're slowly going to rotate towards the left. Just breath by breath. Really think about keeping this length here in the underneath side, and this is a little bit tricky, so you have to kind of keep that right hip back a little bit more. You can bring the arm, the hand a little bit further forward. Rotating the chest up. And if that top shoulder is facing up towards the ceiling, you lift the top arm. Look up towards the hand if the neck allows, otherwise keep looking straight ahead. Slowly lowering the arm, rotating back to center. One more time, lengthening. Bend the knees, and then with a long spine, slowly bringing yourself up. Good. So this was our little practice today. I would suggest you either rest in shavasana, lying down on the ground for 5 minutes or so. And there are a few videos about shavasana on my channel. Or otherwise, if you're not feeling comfortable lying on the ground, if you're somewhere in your office, for example, just sit on your chair, close your eyes for a few minutes, and just concentrate, just focus on your breath. Good, so that was our little practice for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to leave me a comment. I always love to hear from you. Did you find it useful? Was there anything you found really tricky? Was there anything that wasn't quite clear? And do join us on the Facebook group. It's a really lovely, supportive group and plenty of room to inspire each other and asking questions.